now, job search is a difficult process for many, especially if you've been made redundant. The situation is that you're very anxious and you'll tend to apply for jobs, but there's no rule book to job search. In fact, there are many ways to find a job in the year 2020. There's job ads, there's job boards, there's direct employer ads, there's LinkedIn, and there are so many different ways it becomes very confusing for the job seeker. So therefore, the art of understanding what job search is all about is very important, and to be able to perfect your approach. It's really important to be able to develop soft skills. And it's everything from interview technique to being able to create a very good elevator pitch, to be able to conduct a great job search, to be able to personally network, to be able to communicate. In fact, studies have shown that developing soft skills are going to be so important in the future to be able to allow you to thrive in tomorrow's market. Soft skills, as much as technical skills or functional skills, are just as important to develop these days, because what's going to happen is that we're going to be required to find more work. We're going to have to sell ourselves. We need to be able to make sure that we're able to be employable. So developing soft skills is very, very important these days. One of the biggest things I think is the use of your personal network. What happens to a lot of people who've been made redundant is that they may have been in a job for 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years. And what tends to happen when they are made redundant, it's a shock to the system, especially if it's your first redundancy. And so what tends to happen is we tend to fall back to our previous process. So if you were looking for last found a job 10, 15 years ago, you may have found your job through Seek, because Seek worked for you or a job board worked for you. The problem is now is that there is so much activity in the job market when it comes to applications and candidates and jobs on the market, or maybe not on the market for that case. So what tends to happen is recruitment has become, or job search has become, a practice of probability. It's luck. So you're lucky to get your resume seen. You're lucky to get that call back from an agency or an employer. And so what then happens is then it becomes a really difficult process. However, in the same 15 to 20 years, we've been developing our personal networks, okay? And a lot of people don't think to reconnect to their networks, to see that person that we used to hang out, we had a great time at work, we were good buddies, but we haven't seen each other for 10 years. We sometimes forget, maybe we should go back to our relationships and check in with people that we've worked with previously, where we've built those relationships, to see what's happening. Because invariably, people you built relationships with, they're working, they're at an employer, and if we can use our hot connections, then guess what? Then all of a sudden there may be a job opportunity with that hot connection that could be our next job without applying for even a single job. So I suppose the difference between using a personal network and not using a personal network is that by not using your personal network, you're playing a game of probability against the job market. Okay, so therefore you're applying for jobs, you're hoping that the job spec or the job ad reads correct. You're then trusting the people that are reviewing your resume and all the gatekeepers in the process. And it can sometimes be very difficult to be able to understand whether the job is right for you, because there's obviously a lot of sales involved when it comes to selling a job to a candidate and vice versa. So it can sometimes be a little bit of a contrived process. However, using your personal network, you're working with a trusted network. These are people that you've developed relationships with that you trust. And so therefore you should, most likely will get very honest answers about not just the job, but also the culture, the organisation, and everything else surrounding that job. So there are some great advantages of using your personal network for your next job search.